If you guys don't know, I am an ambassador for Simply Simone One, who is a 10-year-old entrepreneur. She sells studs, earring studs, and I also am an ambassador for Crave Dior Boutique. So I received my Crave Dior box tonight, and I'm telling you, I did not know what was going to be in it, and I was super duper excited when I opened it because it was like so much stuff in there. So check this out. Trust me. After I show you guys this, you got to go to her page, follow her, and order your box. So I got the red box. There's a red box and a brown box. Hey, April, what's the other color boxes? Because I know I got a red box and I know there's a brown box. Is there a white box? I don't remember. The box is in red, but the items are red. Oh my God, I'm excited to show you guys this. So, the packaging, first of all. Make sure y'all check it out. My thank you card. I got a code. Y'all can't see my code. It's my special code. But I do have a code for you, and I will share that. Oh, this is a cute business card. Alright, so I got me some glasses. They're so cute. Cute. That's one item. Count with me. My second item is oh, it's cute. Oh, it's a necklace and an earring. And y'all know I feel about earrings. Oh my God. This addiction is bad. And a necklace. How many items? 2. Ooh, I feel classy. Red, white, and brown. Crave boxes will change monthly. Oh, okay. And can you drop my code so that when they order, they can get their discount? Keychain. And a little purse, guys. Isn't it super duper cute? Oh my gosh. And guess what? On Ladybug Media Management, if you're not following me there, I'm going to be playing Battleship. So on Battleship, I'm going to be giving away a Crave Dior box. So that's going to be happening on 10/28, 6 p.m. Make sure you guys join me over there. That's next week. I think next week, Wednesday at 6 p.m. So one of these boxes will be given away. I've already purchased it. And she will be shipping it out directly to the winner. So make sure you tune in. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 items and a keychain. But that's a lot. Y'all know how much this is? Plus my discount. Going over to Crave Dior Boutique. Use my code. There it is. Corey15. Okay? You ain't even got to tell it I sent you. Just use my code. Get your discount. And make sure you grab your box. Get a brown or red or white. Remember, it is limited. So, thank you so much for viewing. And I will show a picture of this. A better picture of it when the show is over. So, as you guys know, for the whole month of October, it's domestic violence awareness. And I have been interviewing domestic violence survivors. So tonight we're going to be speaking with Brittany Jorel, who is the owner of Bold Ambassador. And at Bold Ambassador, she helps you turn your to-dos into done. So if you need work with that, being a procrastinator, make sure you check her out. But I'm going ahead and jump right on in and bring her in so that she can introduce herself and we can get started. Ready? I like my little glasses. Hey, I should get my glasses like yours. How are you?
I am doing well. And yourself? Let me get my lighting right over here.
Marvelous.
Right.
She said very nice. Yes. And she gifted me one of those. I said, girl, I like those glasses. But 5 days later, I had a pair in the mail. I really appreciate it.
Yes, you did.
Thank you so much. Oh, I should have.
And I don't do that for just anybody. So that's how you know you're special.
Thank you. Don't make me blush, girl. Don't make me blush. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
All right. Well, my name is Brittany Jorel. I am the owner and founder of Bold Ambassador. And actually, I just recently been dubbed the I Am Enough girl. So I think I got to add that to my title somewhere.
Awesome. That's cool. That will be cool.
Yeah, and
definitely.
I know, right? And over at Bold Ambassador, our vision is all about helping women thrive without compromise. We do that through coaching, strategic planning, and then we also have a shop where we sell these beautiful items like my sweatshirt or my mug and t-shirts and so on.
You know, I gotta get my mug.
Where is she running to?
To get my mug. Get my tea.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm here. You know, I just gotta show off a little bit.
It's all right. There it is.
It's not your ordinary mug.
Yes.
You can tell.
It is actually, it's a 15-ounce mug. So you definitely get more to drink in it than the traditional 11-ounce mug. So yes.
Yeah. And grab your shirt with it. You still got the bundle?
Yes, I do still have the bundle. And if you go ahead on and join my newsletter tonight, which is called The Bold Gang, my Black Friday is actually going to start the beginning of November. And I have some really cool things in stock for the Black Friday and holidays. So you can go ahead on and join the Bold Gang so you get access a whole 28 days before anybody else does.
Okay, y'all better get bold and get with it because y'all are enough. Okay. Did you get the camo ones back in yet?
The camel?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We have the camel. Yeah.
Okay, you know I gotta get one of those. So, all right.
Yes.
I'll make sure I grab one. So, as you guys know, Brittany Jorel, I love to say her middle name, is a domestic violence survivor. And we're gonna jump right on in. And as you guys know, if you have any questions, drop your questions in the question box. I noticed that they changed it, so it is no longer a square. It is now like a bubble. So drop your questions in the bubble question box. The bubble, I should say, if you have any questions for her. So I know that you were in a previous relationship where you experienced DV. Can you start by telling us how did it start happening?
Well, it started like any other one, right? So if you kind of listen to all of the other survivors, you hear very kind of the same trends, you know, isolation, like getting me alone by myself, getting me outside of my environment. And then it turned into like this whirlwind of just like up and down, just these really high moments of being in love, and then these really low moments of like, why is this person treating me like this? And then, you know, you leave because you kind of get fed up, but then they come back and they gravel for your love and attention again and apologize, and you take them back. And before you know it, you're back in that cycle again, right? And some people call it the Valentine's Day cycle or the love cycle, but it really is just that up and down, that constant, and it happens. And some people, you normalize it, right? For me, I grew up kind of seeing that, and I thought that's just how relationships happen. So I didn't even know I was in a domestic violence relationship, or I wouldn't say violence because it wasn't like physical, anything physical going on, but I didn't know I was in an abusive relationship until a stranger actually tapped me on my shoulder and said, "Sister girl, I think you might want to take a second look at what you've gotten yourself into."
Wow. So you said that it wasn't physical. So I'm assuming it was verbal and mental.
Yeah, so my type of abuse is labeled as narcissistic abuse. And it definitely falls under that category as emotional.
Okay.
And it definitely had some strains of financial and sexual abuse in there as well. And so it really was about a lot of just mental, physical beating down, just like who you are, what you stand for, telling you that you're not worth anything, that you cannot be anything without them. And, you know, after a while, you just start to believe them, because it's a constant message that you hear. And then soon you're just like, yeah, I just, I'm better off just being here with you.
Because they made you feel like nobody's gonna want you because of what they said. Now, were you married to this individual?
Unfortunately, no, I was not married to them. They did propose to me, and I did turn down the proposal. And I remember just a lot of my girlfriends just kind of questioning, why would I turn down this proposal? You have this great man, you live in this huge house, and you guys drive nice cars. Like, why would you want to turn that down? But it was just something on the deep down on the inside. Like, I knew that if I actually said I do, I would never had gotten out of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, that was a good choice. Now, how long were you in the relationship?
I was in the relationship for 2 years.
Okay. And so the person that said to you, sister girl, this is not what you want, or this isn't right, what made her say that to you?
Well, it was a shop that that I shopped at a lot, and he would, typically go with me. And she had seen us interact a lot of times, right? Because I go in there frequently to just pick up outfits and things.
Right.
And she just tapped me on my shoulder and said, I don't know you, as not, I may be stepping out of place, but I think that you may be in an abusive relationship. And she told me a story about her sister and how her sister was actually killed by her partner. And just said she did not want to see the same thing happen to me. And she slipped me her business card, and she told me to call her if I ever needed her or found myself in a situation that I could not get out of for safety reasons. And at that time, I kind of laughed it off, because it was just like, nah, that's just, we're young, we're in love, we argue, we fight, that's just what happens. But when I really started to examine the pieces of what was going on, it became clear to me that even if I still was in denial for a long time that I was a victim of abuse, but I knew it was something I no longer could actually stay in and feel really safe about it. I had actually become very just scared to be alone with that individual. And so I started to remove myself out of the relationship piece by piece.
Mm-hmm. What do you think made her come to you in the store that day? What was happening that made her come to you and just say that? Or has she been seeing something as you guys come to the store often?
I think it was just her just seeing just how we interact. Again, when I talk about that isolation piece, I rarely went anywhere by myself. I was normally always with him, or even if I was still in college at that time, he would even drop me off to school. Now, mind you, I had a car, I could drive, but he would actually still drop me off and pick me up. And just, I think it was just her just kind of really just having that keen sense of just knowing how it happened with her sister.
Right.
She just seen it between him and I.
Okay. And I'm glad that you said it wasn't physical. But I mean, to me, I think mental and emotional is just as bad, because it affects you interacting with other people. So when you say it was emotional, what were some of the things he might have said to you, or what did you figure out, like what were his triggers to say certain things?
Well, as you guys are followers of mine, you know that I have a real slick tongue. I kind of I can be kind of like all up in your face sometimes. And I challenged him a lot, and he didn't like when I challenged him, or when I kind of stood in my independence, that, he really did not appreciate me, kind of in his sense being ungrateful for what he had given me. Why would you want to go work when I give you everything that you need? And to him that just felt like a sign of just disrespect.
Was he older?
And yes, he was very much older than me. And a lot of it was dealt around outside of just the verbal things he would say to me. He did things that I would consider as being like torture.
Ooh, like what?
For my own reasons and sanity, I don't talk about
Okay.
it.
Okay.
But it really would be deemed as just being tortured in your own home.
Okay. Okay. So you say you dealt with this for 2 years. Did it start immediately, or it gradually started happening?
It gradually started. When I look back, I can now see where it kind of started to manifest itself. I remember I had a girlfriend who was coming up to hang out, and we were gonna go back down to the beach and hang out together. And I just remember he just made a big deal out of it. He did not want me to go with her. He did not want me to go away for the weekend. And I remember he started this big argument with me. And I'm just like, what's up? Like, I'm in my 20s. I wasn't even in my 20s yet. I was 19 when I first started dating him. I'm just like, I'm 19. It's the summertime. What else is supposed to do? We hang out. We go to the beach.
Right.
And I just remember just that argument being so big, and and me going. And eventually, by the end of that summer, I actually broke up with him. And that was like the first breakup we had. And he came back. And that was like the first thing that I can remember that was the trigger of just how our cycle kept going.
Oh, wow. And so how did that, she said, is he Jamaican?
No, he wasn't Jamaican.
Yeah. So I'm assuming because he was older, he was insecure. He was scared maybe of losing you, figuring that, oh, why do you need to do this? Why do you have to do that? So she said, trying to isolate you, and they don't want you to be around other people, what they think you might.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what's a big fear, especially for a narcissist, is they think that like other people, like they're always kind of paranoid that other people are talking about them, or they're whispering things in your ear about them. And really, my girlfriends never said anything, never said anything about him at all. But it was just that paranoia that if I let you go around them, they're going to tear us apart. And so I have to keep you from being around them so they're not interfering with our relationship.
Yeah, that's just all in his head. Or the person's head.
All in his head.
So, how did that affect? I mean, I said there's one thing. Obviously, you say you don't want to talk about. You don't want to get deep into it because you try, put it in the back burner. But aside from that, like, how did it affect you, mentally?
Really, I know people say this phase all the time. You look in the mirror and you don't recognize yourself. Other people looked at me and didn't recognize who I was. That's how bad it really became. I remember when we broke up and I started back going to school. One of my classmates said to me, he was like, "It's great to see you smile again." Mind you, I had been in class with this person for 3 years, and they said it was great to see you smile again. And it was like that much of me had been removed from who I was. I was just kind of like a walking body with no emotion attached to me at all, because that's how much it had been, my joy had been taken away from me. I did not have happiness. Yeah, I didn't have happiness. I didn't have peace, and I didn't even realize it. But even others who did not even know me personally saw it in me.
Did you because when they said that, did that trigger and hit you like, okay, because as you were going through it, you said earlier that you didn't think that it was bad or abuse. It wasn't to you because you experienced it as a young child, seeing it growing up, you thought it was normal. Mm-hmm. So while you're going through this, you didn't even realize that you're not smiling, you're not being joyful, and you're funny to me. So I can't, if they saw it, imagine what they were thinking. So now,
yeah.
You was gonna say something?
No, go ahead.
So she said, even my driver's picture, license pic looked just like how I felt. A mess. Wow. Wow. That's so, it just, I feel like, oh my God, that's so sad. So you were in school. How did it affect your academics?
I was failing. When I met him, I was an all A student. I had like a 3.8 GPA. I was very active in activities around campus. And when him and I broke up, I was actually on academic probation. And I was on basically about to be kicked out of school. And it was because just you don't have the energy. Like, it's just like, you know, you don't have the energy to want to get up. You don't have the energy to want to do anything. And then you're just kind of embarrassed. You don't want to go around people and be around people that's happy and that's smiling. And so you just kind of remove yourself from it all. And I even had professors who were just like, what's going on? Like, you were such a vibrant student and you were doing so good, and then you just stopped, and it was like, what happened? And you know, you can't answer. I mean, you know what's happening, but you can't tell them. And so you just become removed from it all because you don't want to talk about it.
So did you start doing like online classes or something? Just so you won't be around them?
No, I actually basically just kind of stopped going to school for a while, and I would just be at home and just work.
And you guys don't even know how smart she is. Like, tell them what your degree is in. Like, what do you do now?
So I actually have 3 degrees. I have a bachelor's and a master's in computer science, and then I have another master's in executive IT management.
You heard that IT? Just y'all already know. Once you hear IT, that's like smart. That's what I mean. This IT is smart. Listen. All right. Make sure you drop your questions in the bubble because it's no longer a question square box. She said, someone says, hold on. Where'd it go? TVN Business Solution said, in case someone is watching and may not know, can you explain narcissistic abuse?
Yeah, so narcissistic abuse, again, it falls under that umbrella of like that emotional abuse. And for me, like I said, it has some financial and sexual tied to it as well. But it really is around, you hear this term called gaslighting, where people like they start to tell you things about yourself that's not true. Sometimes they may actually withhold things from you to get you to stick around in the relationship. That's how the money part can feed into that as well. And it's definitely based off like a person's ego and getting you to kind of just like sting to them and want to be around them. It's very an ego kind of master manipulator almost of relationship based. You think of like a psychopath, like they're like a person with that kind of mentality, but they just don't kill you. They kill your soul, but they don't kill you physically as a person. Yeah, I mean, it's a harsh analogy, but that's like the perfect one that I can sum it up to. So, and a lot of times you may find, my abuser actually did this as well, is you may find them actually talking to other people to just get you to want to kind of like fight and stay with them. And they may not even have interest in that other person, but it's just to get you to keep coming back to them. They do things like that.
So now that you're out of that, how long? Okay, so you broke up, I think you said twice, right?
We broke up multiple times. I can't even count it on my hands how many times I left and went back.
In the 2 years. I said 2 years. In the 2 years.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So what was the final cutoff though?
The final cutoff was, well, the first warning was the lady who warned me. 2, I actually found out that he was actually talking to another young lady. And 3, I confronted him about it at a party, and you see those scenes where like the girl rides up to the party with her friends and she confronts the boyfriend about him doing something. Well, yeah, me and my girlfriends did that in real life. And afterwards I felt stupid. It was just like, why do you have to do something like this? And I really took a hard look at myself that night, and it's just like, you have so much more going for yourself.
Right.
And it's not, if you've been reduced to having to do this, it's not worth it. And so I walked away from that relationship, from everything. They were my financial security. They were my place to stay. And I left everything behind. And for 6 months, I slept on someone else's couch for safety and for financial reasons, just to start back over.
Were you afraid when you left that he will come back?
Hell yeah. He did. We had a house, we had a home together, and he still had access to that home. So even though I stayed in it, he still had access to it, and I could not stop him from having access because his name was on the lease as well.
Yeah.
And so I had to, it became where when I went to work, someone was with me at all times. I never went anywhere by myself. So I had friends who actually take rotations of going with me to my 3 jobs that I had at the time. I had to get a restraining order against him because he would just show up to the house in the middle of the night. He would do crazy things like leaving stuff on my doorstep so I know that he was there. He would just show up randomly to my jobs and just kind of sit outside of them until I got off from work. And so, yeah, I became really afraid for my life.
And how long after did he stop altogether?
It was after I got the restraining order. He was in the military, and so the restraining order actually got walked up his line of command, his chain of command, and they warned him, like, if you don't stop, we're going to kick you out. And so he eventually kind of laid off.
Yeah, I'm surprised he did that, being in the military, because they are very, very strict with those type of things. He could have been discharged. I know that for a fact. But I am so glad that you got out of that. So now, did you like ever get therapy? And I know you said you don't want to talk about certain things. So do you feel like you're in a better place? Well, obviously I think you are, because if you can talk about it to an extent to help someone, because I'm still like blown at that analogy you gave for narcissists. I'm like, whoa, I gotta watch.
Oh yeah.
So, I have 3 girls.
Yeah, it took me approximately about 11 years to fully recover and actually talk about it publicly. 2 years ago was my first time actually sharing my story for the first time. And I remember after I shared it, I went and everything that was in my stomach came up. I was just that nervous about even talking about it. But yeah, I definitely saw plenty of therapists, and I always tell people, if you found yourself in this situation, definitely please go get support. And the first therapist may not be the right therapist, and it doesn't mean that therapy won't work. It's just you have to find the person that's right for you. I went through about 3 therapists until I found the person that was the perfect one to actually help me through my situation. And I continued to go to therapy for years.
Wow. And you said that, she says, men in uniform actually think that they do, child. Not knowing that they can mess up themselves a lot too. Look at God in therapy. Narcissistic abusive behavior is so difficult. I mean, listening to her talk about it is like, whoa. Because, you see these things on TV, but then when you hear somebody that you like know in real life, it's like, whoa, like how, you know what I mean?
Yeah. One of the crazy things is, so to prove to myself that I wasn't crazy, because another thing that happens when you're in a narcissistic relationship is they tend to be the person that's very valued in the community. So they're like an upstanding citizen. People love and adore them. They're very charismatic. So when you start to talk bad about them, people look at you like you're the crazy ones. Like, there's no way they would do that. Like, why would you say that about them? And so you start to think that you're making this up in your head. Like, did he really do that to me? Maybe he didn't. Or maybe I just took it the wrong way. And so one thing that I did is I actually sat down with a girl that he dated before me, and we started finishing each other's stories.
So that was
And
the
that
first
was,
time.
yes. And so that was the moment that it finally kind of like hit me like, one, this was real.
Right.
And two, you were in a very toxic, abusive situation.
Yeah.
And you got out. I mean, we had like our stories were so similar of the things that he did to us, and even she and I became friends over the years as well. But we both just kind of leaned on each other for that support after the fact, because she felt the same way too. Like, I was crazy, because that's how people make you feel. They make you feel like you've made it all up in your mind, and like this person will never do that to you.
Because
so like, I dare you to talk bad about them.
Right.
Yes.
Whoa, Jesus, my God. I'm getting chills. She said typically the victim suffers from Stockholm syndrome. A lot of times people that are abusive who don't have control over their own lives try to control others. Yes. So did you have children with him?
No, we did not have children together. Again, it's one of those things where you just know, like, I just say that, my body, like my gut was just so with me, even though like my heart tried to keep me there. But yeah, I tried to avoid anything that would attach me to him. He tried to buy a home with me. He tried to buy cars with me. He asked me to marry him. Anything that I thought would give me a permanent tie or tie us together, I would avoid it at all costs.
So you kind of had an inkling in the beginning from the time he offered that ring, you were like, I don't know, which was good because he might be trying to get out of that marriage.
Yeah, he proposed to me 3 months after we
met. Yeah, and at 19, like, nah, buddy, not yet. Wow, I am just listening to that. Like, I've listened to all the other ladies, and you guys all have similar things, but yours, it wasn't physical, but I mean, just that mental for me is bad because it'll stay with you longer. I mean, I think, physical, you can physically heal, but mental, it takes a while.
I'm still triggered by certain things. Like when you said, like, are you triggered by, there's smells that I cannot smell because it reminds me of the rooms and the house, what it used to smell like.
Yeah.
There's just certain music that I cannot listen to because it was music that was out when we were together. Yeah. And it's sad because it's like those things have now been taken away from you. They represent something else than what they should be.
Right. And you know what? It's like, this is why I always tell people that you have to be careful how you treat people, how you talk to people, or how you, I mean, not that we go around like, let me walk on eggshells, because you don't know, but you're saying that certain things may be a trigger. You might be around people and they don't know. You might break down crying, or you might leave and they're like, why are you going? Come. Like, so I always tell people, if you see somebody act a certain way, let them go, because you don't know why. Yep. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. That is so true. For years after the relationship was over and I would date other people, certain things would happen, especially if it was like in the sexual spectrum. That was just bring memories back. Yeah. And it, like, I think I scared off just a lot of people because it was like, what do you do with this girl that's sitting here crying and I didn't do anything to her? Yeah. And it had nothing to do with them. Yeah. It was just that, like you said, I was triggered and I wasn't fully healed. Right. And so, I was just kind of just still in that I was still stuck at that point.
Yeah. And so you said it was after 11 years you were able to talk about it, and you got sick after the speaking event. Why do you think you got sick? To me, I don't know if you guys are spiritual like that, but I know usually people in church, like if the spirit, we say the demon comes out of them, they throw up. So do you think maybe that was a release for you at that time when you threw up?
It definitely was a release. It felt good just to say it out loud because I had been saying it behind closed doors for so many years. And like I said, for years, I wouldn't even call it abuse. I would just say, oh, I was just in a toxic relationship. Or, you know, or I was just in a really bad situation. Like I wouldn't even call it abuse. And big ups to Lisa. She's the founder of Stand Up Survivor. She was the one who kind of coached me through that and helped me share my story for the first time. But she was like, no, like you call it what it is and you own the story and you don't change it up for anybody to make them feel good. I think it was just all of that pain, all of that anger, all of the embarrassment that I had held in for all of those years finally just came out of me. And I've been talking about it ever since then. And before that, you had to pry it out of me. Like, and now I talk about it once a week.
Really? See, Nessa said it. You release that demon, and it's not saying that you were the demon. It's the demon of that, you know, that time, that season that came out of you. So that's why it's easier for you to talk about it now because it's not holding you bound. You know what I mean? So that's a good thing. I'm happy about that for you. She said, good question. TDH Ministry said, how long did it take you to begin dating after the abuse? Good question. That stronghold, yeah?
Actually I started dating someone probably 2 months after the fact, and it went downhill. It didn't last long. One, because I was still dealing with him stalking me at that point, and so you're in a relationship, but you're trying to explain to them why your ex is showing up to your house and why you don't even sleep at your own house, and you know, they just don't want to deal with it, right? And you can't blame them. It's baggage that you're bringing with you. And so I started dating, and it didn't last. And then I probably dated one more person after that, and they were just as toxic as the person that I was in a relationship with. They punched out the window of my house. And then that's when I realized that you just need to stop. You need to take some time for you. And relationships is not it right now. No matter how bad you want to be loved or cared for, no one's going to give that to you. You have to go get it for yourself. And so for about 4 or 5 years, I just stopped dating. You casually just, do your thing. But I wasn't in any serious committed relationship.
And so lo and behold, now you're a project manager, right?
I am a what they call an agile coach. So I help train IT teams and senior leaders.
Okay, and you're married, you have 2 beautiful children, and all of that is behind you. So how did your husband, how did you become married? How did you receive this gentleman and, getting away from all of that?
You know what? My husband is a saint. I met him when I was 13. On the corner, we had been talking for several months, and we finally said, let's actually see what we look like. And so we agreed to meet each other on the corner, and we kind of been kicking it, ever since. But at that time, we had broken up, of course, because I was dating somebody else. But when we kind of decided we wanted to get back together, I was still kind of going through it. I was still in that phase of, am I even worthy to get back with him? Like I felt so broken. I felt guilty for wanting to be with him because it's like, he's whole. Why would I bring my broken self to someone that's whole? And, he stuck it out, and it was a rough couple of years of him sticking it out with me and giving me my space to kind of deal with my situation and what I was dealing with. But he did. And we're here now.
And how long you guys are married now?
We've been married for 2 years.
That's good. That's good. He's a man. That's what I'm talking about. That's a good thing. And look at that smile. So it's like, yes, you got it all back. You're doing good. Your kids are beautiful. And that's like really a good thing. For sure, for sure. But if you guys are just tuning in, we were speaking with Brittany Jorel of Bold Ambassador, and she helped procrastinators turn those to-dos into done. So if you're not following her, make sure you follow her. She's also the I Am Enough girl. So she has a line of sweaters, shirts, mugs, anything. There she is wearing one. And you guys have seen me wear mine before, and I always have my mug as well. Like, this is my night teacup because it's so tall. I love it. So make sure that if you're not following her, follow her now. She is a domestic violence survivor. She shared her story. If you weren't able to catch it, make sure you catch a replay. And I always say, guys, if you know somebody or someone that is going through this, but you don't know how to help them, make sure that you share this with them. But again, you have to be very careful because, you know, they may be in denial. They may not really know it. Like she said, someone approached her in the store. And at the time, she was like, oh, no, they brushed it off. But just for me, personally, I would give them the access to whatever they need. And it's on them to move forward. Mm-hmm. At least that's off your shoulder. She said, let me get some merch. Definitely go. Tell them the website.
The website is boldambassador.com. And Corey actually has a special code. So if you use Corey20, you can get 20% off of your total purchase from the site.
Make sure y'all go and get it now. Oh, and tell them about the book that I have to help her that I haven't started.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? Before I tell them about the book, I really wanted to give some tips on people who, when you get out of a relationship, Definitely. What are some first things that you should do? Definitely. All right. So if you found yourself in an abusive or toxic relationship, and if you don't know the difference of the two, check out my live from earlier today, and I explain them. These are some things that you can do to get the ball started. So one, cry. Cry, girl, cry, girl, cry, girl. Just let it out. You're going to cry for a long time, so just get used to those tears just falling. It's okay. It's healing. The second thing is you want to practice self-care every day. Rather, if it shows up as meditation, going to the movies, dancing, reading, buying yourself flowers. You want to pamper yourself every day because you've been on a whirlwind. Yes. And your well is depleted, is empty, and so it's time of rebuilding yourself up. So self-care is a must. 3, get support. So I talked about having a therapist and, going through 3 or 4 of them before I found the right person. Definitely go seek a therapist. And if you're not ready to talk about it out loud, get a notebook and write down your thoughts. It's all about getting out what's in your head and just releasing it. So even if you just have to have a tape recorder and you're talking to yourself, it still is a form of therapy of just getting it out of your head and releasing that energy from your body because you want to take that negative tension away from you. Number 4, don't sit alone. Get out. You probably haven't been social in a while. You've probably been cooped up with this person. So, go out with your girlfriends, have some drinks, smoke some weed if you need to. All right. Just have some fun. It's time to just let your head down and just get back out on the social scene. I didn't say date. I said get back out on the social scene. Know the difference between the two. All right. And you want to keep busy. So I'm going to refer back to the self-care and the not sitting in the house. Keep busy. You can volunteer. I went back to school and I bust my ass to get finished. I worked 3 jobs. I did anything just to keep my mind going and not to focus on what was of my past. And this is the last final one. And please take this one at heart. Get rid of all contact from your ex. Don't erase text messages, erase voicemails, delete their number, block them on social media. You have to purge them from your life. If you don't, they will find a way to seep back in. So you have to put up gates around your life, your peace, and your love for yourself and keep them out.
And I remained quiet the whole time. I wanted to say something so bad, but I am definitely going to screen record this and share this out because those are amazing tips. Like, I love it. I love it. And you know what's so amazing to me? Each one of you ladies that I have interviewed, like Joanna, she is a nurse and she went back and got her degree, even though her abuser told her, oh, you never be nothing, blah, blah, blah. She got a degree. Suzanne, she also wrote a journal. Majida, she wrote she wrote a book. I mean, you wrote a book. You're giving tips. Ashandi wrote a book. Tashetta is writing a book. Like, I'm just goosebumps. Like, you guys did not let it hold you down. You did not let it keep you down. And you women are the women that need to be speaking. Like, anybody that has anything domestic violence related need to allow you guys to speak. I am an advocate for each one of you guys because you guys did that. Like, those tips, just, I'm going to screen record. I'm going to share that. You know how I do my thing. So I've never been in this stuff. So if you guys doing this, I always tell people I have 3 daughters. So one of my daughters is on here, the oldest one, of course. And it's like, these girls need to know that. I've seen children in school where they're thinking these are the hits and they talking to them any type of way. To me, that's verbal abuse. Like, you guys are too young for people to be talking to you nasty and rude and disrespectful. No, cut that short. Yep. You know what I mean? So those are amazing tips. And the tips also, even if you're not in one, or you look for the signs. Look for the signs. So hopefully I have 2 other beautiful women that are going to come on that are doing great things as well. You guys are strong. Like, I know there's a saying that you never know how strong you are until you have to be strong. And you ladies did that. So I really tip my hats off to you guys. I'm excited about being connected with you all and being able to have you guys on my platform and sharing it with people who, you know, like you said, you didn't want to talk about it. You didn't even want to label it, but you came out of it and you did it. And so definitely, I'm sure you're going to help someone else, even after I share this thing that I'm going to share that you just showed, those 5 tips. Majida is on here. She has her book. I interviewed her as well. Make sure you follow her. Tashetta is also on here. She will be on next week. Ashandi will be on next week as well. And she's in school also right now, working on her degree, bettering herself after being in 2 abusive relationships. So Suzanne is also on here. She shared her story. I think she was about the 3rd person. Sierra, she also shared her. She's also working now on bettering herself to getting her to become a corrections officer. You know, that takes schooling and working out. So Let Us Swim store. She said, yes, 20% off, Corey 20. So make sure you use it. Get your shirts, guys, because we all need to know that we are enough. You know what I mean? Like, she said that he thought that financial would hold her. No, you can create your own finances as well. So I always say, you know, what he meant for my downfall, God has taken that and he has turned it into something that I could never have imagined to happen. It went from me, like you said, being afraid to share my story to literally, I think like the next day I told Christopher, I said, I'm going to start a t-shirt company. And I want to put phrases on it for women so it helps them feel better. And that was literally the next day. So by January 2019, I was already having stuff in production because it's just like I felt that strong call in that you know, this is what you're supposed to do. Your story isn't supposed to be kept up and locked up inside. There's so many other women that could benefit from what you talk about, or who can just see themselves in you and just know that it's hope on the other side of it. I know it's dark right now and it doesn't seem like your days are going to get better. And, you know, friends and family members keep telling you, girl, get over it. And you keep wondering, like, when is this depression going to leave me? But I promise you, if you just keep getting up,
you keep going 24 hours at a time, just take it a day at a time, you will get there. And what's on the other side, like, I mean, you can't even imagine. Like, I never would have had even put this on my goals list for myself 11, 12 years ago.
Right. And she says Romans 8:28 that we know all things work together for the good of them that love God. And you know what? It's like we can say it after, because my grandmother always say every disappointment is for good. But as you're going through it, it's like, I don't want to hear that. But look at you ladies. Like, it just shows. It shows. And again, everyone says thank you so much for sharing your story. I was truly blessed. Thank you for sharing your story, Brittany. Amazing strength indeed. Kiki says thanks for sharing your story. And the Kiki Chanel also, she has a show where she does similar things, interviewing people and talking to people about their stories. So make sure you guys follow the Kiki Chanel also on Instagram. I think she is CST time, where we're EST time, but make sure that you follow her as well. And follow my classmate, Nessa Cycles. And Nessa, she is out of Atlanta. She is a fitness guru. Let me tell you guys, I just got to brag about her a lot. My motivation, Celine did it yet, but I'm getting there. I'm doing good. So don't judge me. I'm doing good. I'm working on it. Let Us Swim store is out of here, Fort Lauderdale. Definitely want to interview her. She helps children of color, and I mean everyone, but I think her focus is children, black children, to learn how to swim. So make sure that you guys follow her as well too. I will be interviewing her in the near future. And my sponsor for tonight, True to You Beauty Bar Spa out of Houston, Texas. She is your skincare concierge. So make sure you follow her for her wonderful products so that we can keep that melanin glowing. Okay, y'all? Make sure you do that. And also follow Nessa Cycles. If you're in Atlanta, check her out so you can get your spin cycle on. I can't keep up. Y'all already know my heart ain't too good, but I'm gonna try. Make sure you follow her if you're out in Georgia. Okay. Again, thank you so much, Brittany, for sharing your story. You know, Instagram cuts us off. Is there anything you want to tell them how they can find you? Make sure to use my code, boldambassador.com, Corey20. You get, she said it, 20% off. And tell them about the book before it cuts us off.
Oh yeah. So again, you can find me at Bold Ambassador. That is my handle on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. And recently I wrote a journal. It's called Enough, Let's Do This-ish. So it's definitely for the procrastinators, those who suffer from follow through. And if you have things that are on your goals list that you have for 2020, but you haven't finished it yet, it's the perfect time to go ahead on and buy the journal and jump into our group coaching, so you can go ahead on and finish out the year strong. And I believe you can actually use the code Corey20 to buy the journal. If it doesn't work, send me a DM and I will go and fix it. But I believe it should work on all the products in the store. So the journal should be a part of that as well.
And it is really filled, guys. It's not your normal journal where it's blank and there's blank for you to fill in like she has. It's strategies, steps to get what you need get done, with tips and everything. It also has a calendar in it. Of course, you know, I purchased mine soon as she released it. I didn't even use my own code. How crazy, but that's why I got it early because I'm a big procrastinator. It's terrible. As much as y'all see me moving and rolling in, I'm a big procrastinator. But I'm telling you, I love it because it's really filled and it'll make you go step by step. Definitely get it, Trisha. Definitely get it. You guys know anything I promote, I don't just promote it to talk. It's worth it for sure.
Oh yeah. We talk about, you know, your values, the lies and excuses you tell yourself. I told you guys, I don't come with the fluff. All right. I'm real with you about creating a routine. Your friends versus foes, you know, who the people are with you, who the people are actually against you. Self-sabotage, creating a plan, finding a mentor, and just building that self-control and grit into everything that you do, because I believe there's no such thing as a plan B. You just didn't follow through with your plan A properly. Right. So stick with me.
Hey, Bella. Bella is on here as well. Follow Bella for all your saving tips. Listen, I did one of her saving activities, and I didn't do the 500, that was the goal, but I did like 300 and something, which is really, really good. I canceled some subscriptions, and I didn't eat out for a minute. So that was a struggle, but I did it. So guys, as always, I am your girl, Corey Love of the Corey Love Show. We are here on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Next week, we will be interviewing Tashetta D. Henry of TDH Ministries and Ashandi Trotter of Ashandi or Shandon on Instagram. And they're going to be our final 2 women of this month for domestic violence survivors. And make sure you tune in. And they all are writers. Like, I'm so glad when I looked at you guys' list, and I have all your books, except Tashetta, since it ain't out yet. But I was like, yo, you ladies are bosses. Like, y'all are bad. So whatever y'all went through, y'all are strong and will continue to be strong and make a difference and help others get to where they need to get. So as always, I appreciate you. And, you know, we'll be in touch for sure. So make sure you guys follow Bold Ambassador. Use my code Corey20 and get your book, your mug, your shirt or sweater. Depends on where you're located in the United States. All right. As always, guys, guidance, lessons, and love. See y'all next week.
All right. See ya.
Good night.